All right, so we're looking at a single arm behind the back lateral raise. I'm gonna hit play, we'll watch it, and then we will talk through the setup start to finish in just a moment. All right, so let's rewind all the way to the beginning because I think it's really important to get this set up correctly. So I want you to start where you are standing directly next to the cable. And so I'm standing with my working side arm holding the cable, and I'm standing directly to the side of this cable. And you'll see me take one step forward, a small step forward, and one big step to the side. And the reason that we're doing that is we want the cable to be running somewhat diagonally behind us so that when we raise up in what's called the scapular plane, which means slightly out in front of the body, that we are moving our arm in direct opposition to the load. So watch, we take one small step forward and one big step to the side. Now what's happening is that cable is running behind me on an angle, which is going to allow me to raise up on an angle in direct opposition to that load. Obviously, this 2D arrows don't really help. But right now you can see that that cable is running not only from behind me, but also slightly laterally. And so I'm going to be raising in front of me and also laterally. And so you'll see it lines things up perfectly for me to be able to raise in what's called the scapular plane. The last thing is I really do like, you guys know this, you guys know that I love a staggered stance. I love the same side as the working arm to take a small step back just for stability. You guys might find that you don't need to do that. I find I'm way more stable when I do this. Next, we're gonna raise to the side, but it's also slightly out in front. You can probably see from this angle that I'm not raising directly out to the side. I'm raising mostly to the side and a little bit out in front. And that is going to be called the scapular plane. That's gonna be the best plane to train the medial delts without getting some impingement in our shoulder joint. Now, this behind the back lateral raise is an opportunity for us to train basically the full range of motion of the delt, which is going to finish with our arm straight up in this almost like where you would finish for a Y raise. And so you are going to do this raising up in the scapular plane or mostly to the side, slightly out in front of the body until the cable hits you in the arm. And so if we look here, that cable is hitting me in the arm. And so I want you guys to raise up as high as you can until that cable hits you in the arm. Remember, your goal is to move the cable or to move your arm in direct opposition of the load. And so at the top here, your cable and your arm, the cable and your arm should be basically in the same line. And as you can see here, they're pretty much in the same line. My arm is here, right? The cable's here. It's pretty much the same line. If you're finding that, the cable is far away from your arm at some point, it might be that you need to move the arm a little bit forward or a little bit out to the side. And so a quick recap, you're going to start directly to the side of the cable. You're going to take one small step forward, one big step to the side. I like to stagger that same side leg back a little bit. And then you're going to raise out to the side like a lateral raise, but slightly out in front, which is called the scapular plane. And you're going to raise all the way up overhead until that cable hits you in the arm. And so we'll watch a couple more reps of this set. Something to note is this hand is always going to do something weird. Like, my hand is always doing something awkward. Like, what is it doing here? I have no idea, but no big deal. All right, that's it, guys. We'll do one more rep. Cool.